Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Touchdown, Alabama! Hi, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Join us every week for Alabama football right here.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom, can you get me a little typeset?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Tom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Tom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Oh, yeah, we're going to respond. We're going to take over the Tom Abraham Show. It's Chad Gwathney. Sitting across the glass from me is one Steve Moulton from The Drive with Wes Neighbors. You can hear them tonight at Baumhauer's.
Was that your Tom Abraham impersonation?
Yeah, no, right? No. Yes, no, I appreciate it. Everyone listening in to 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We're all over there on our live right now going on if you want to watch us as well as listening to the radio station.
That's right. You can see me
you can
right
see
now.
Steve. You never get to see Steve.
No, you never do because the big man does not want to be on camera because he's usually eating.
Yes. Well, I mean,
and look at me right
my thing
here.
is that would be like a good like marketing, like advertisement thing for whatever place you're at, is just having Wes on camera at the place eating whatever they're eating.
So what I really want is like
Taste of the town.
A stopwatch in the corner and mark it as soon as he starts to as soon as he finishes. I'm telling you, he can throw down. I mean, I'm not breaking news saying Wes Neighbors can throw down, but the speed at which he can throw down, it's pretty impressive.
Yes, I'm a slow eater, so like I'd definitely like to eat either before, after. I mean, I cannot do it during. There's so many other things to do, and then you gotta wipe your hands off and all the other stuff. Like I just. But if you're Wes, you could just do. I mean, you can power through it. I mean,
okay, on this subject,
Wes can power through it.
So there was one time he was eating ribs while we were on the air, and he could not move his microphone, so he leaned over to me, and I had to move his microphone because what was the important thing was finishing the rib.
Yeah, I understand that. That is the priorities for sure. Let's get the priorities out of the way. The particulars, like they like to call them. We've got a couple of great guests today. We've got Bo Morgan from 92.9 The Game talking about the hot start in the early on in the season, 2-0 start for the Atlanta Falcons.
Go Falcons.
And probably talk a little bit about the Atlanta Braves as well.
Jesse Chavez, baby.
He's back.
Jesse Chavez.
He's back for sure. And also we'll have Steve Merrill. You get to hear him every Thursday. Usually this is Beat the Big Dog Day. We'll have Steve Merrill from Wager Talk TV and ProSportsInfo.com. He can kind of help you a little bit with Beat the Big Dog throughout the week, but also he can kind of help us with possibly some picks that might be on the trifecta on Football Friday.
I heard a little bit yesterday. How is your start so far to the season? What is your record? Do you know?
Oh, I'm 6-12. I'm actually behind the listeners and behind Tom.
Wow.
Yeah, I started off really bad last year.
We
So
have not considered that.
Yeah, no. I might get benched like Tommy Reese. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, because I think I'm over here with my hand on my head. It's not a good start.
We have not considered that.
Yeah. I know, Coach. Trust me. But yeah, no. The reason why we do not have the big dog here today, and he's actually on the line with us today to kind of start off the show, kick off the show.
I'm sure Tom has never eaten while he was on the air. Never,
Tom. Right?
Never.
Well, I can't eat when I'm on New York because I'd have to hand it off to Chad. I don't have that guy sitting next to me necessarily all the time. So, when you're a one-man show, you kind of can't do that as much. But what would be cool is maybe if we had like that digitized thing in front of Wes's head. You know what I mean? We could like have,
yeah.
We can blur him out.
It would be like digitized. Yeah. Blur him out. Blur the guy out and just leave him out over there all the time. But yeah, guys, on the road here. By the way, that's a catchy tune at the top of the hour. We ought to release that. I wonder how high that would go on the charts. That nobody does it like Tom Abraham. I didn't realize how good that was.
That's pretty good. I don't know who did that.
Don't listen to it.
I think Taylor Swift cut that or remake. Yeah.
Actually, Ed White in Nashville, Tennessee, the Ed White band did that impromptu little deal. It's actually got some other stuff in there, but we customized it. No, not the astronaut, but I'm glad you guys are in there taking care of business. I am on the road headed for Birmingham. I have my annual visit with the Muckety Mucks at BASS headquarters in Birmingham, my other gig, and so I got to go down there and get the lay of the land for 2024 for Bassmaster Radio and what my responsibilities will be next year.
Have they released the schedule for next year already for Bass?
The elite schedule is out, and I'm excited about it because there is 2 tournaments in Alabama. Wheeler, not Gunnersville. Usually it's Gunnersville. Yeah. Wheeler is on the elite schedule next year. That is in June, and it's back-to-back with Smith Lake.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's going to be good, and it's good for me, too, because generally I get some TV work whenever they're in the region. So I'm sure I'll be doing Bassmaster Live TV on FS1 and Fox for Wheeler and for Smith. Well, I don't know. I might be done when I get down there and have this meeting. They might be letting me go.
Yeah. But, that's what you're doing.
It's a fascinating schedule. Not that we want to talk fishing on one of the biggest college football weeks of the year, but it is a fascinating schedule. They're going to start with 2 in Texas. Then after the Classic, which is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, there'll be 2 in Alabama, 2 in Florida, 2 in Alabama, 2 in New York State. So it's and then 1 in South Carolina. So it's a really kind of a cool schedule, and it got a nice rhythm to it. So that's
I mean, we are, for college football crazy fans, we are. I mean, one of the meccas of bass fishing is right in our own backyard. It feels like we have Lambeau Field over at Lake Gunnersville. Yeah. So, I mean...
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, Alabama is the heartbeat of professional bass fishing. There are more anglers from Alabama that are pros that are anywhere else, to be quite honest with you. And it was funny, Saturday on Bassmaster Radio, Bobby Lane joins me. He's from Florida. He's a huge football fan. He is Chris Lane's brother. Chris Lane lives at Gunnersville Lake, and Bobby Lane lives down at Kissimmee. Anyway, last week they were fishing at the tournament. There was a Bassmaster Open on Watts Bar in Tennessee, and he is a huge Florida Gator fan. And he was on stage. He was one of the top 10 finalists, and he couldn't get out of there fast enough. And the weigh-in was happening right about the time, right before and he made a comment on stage about how, I got to get out of here and get back to the hotel so I could see the Florida-Tennessee game. And
it was definitely the Florida game. That was definitely the Florida game.
The Florida game. Yeah, he said it's the Florida game.
I think I found a guest picker for the future.
Yeah.
Got some maybe ask some of your bass guys.
Yeah, exactly. He would be a good guy. But anyway, I'm excited for this week. Tomorrow we'll have a big Football Friday show. I know you guys got a good show coming up today, and I'll tell you what, that Falcons game, I know you're going to talk about it with Bo, but that Falcons game at the Lions is really fascinating because the Lions are playing good football, even though they dropped that one last week. But the Lions in Detroit, I think we're going to learn a lot about what Atlanta's all about. You know, they go up there and beat the Lions in Detroit, then there's a thing going on there in Atlanta.
Seattle took them to overtime last week before they came away with the victory, but the Falcons have just found a way. That 13-point, I don't have to tell you, Chad, you were there, but that 13-point come from behind victory over the Packers, I know it's not Aaron Rodgers, but they still, I don't know how impressive that win at Chicago looks right now after what we heard from the former Georgia Bulldog yesterday and Justin Fields about being a robot, but nonetheless, 2-0 is 2-0, and it's been a while since the Falcons have been 2-0.
Well, it's like I said on this show before to Tom, it's just when you look at how the defense played really well in the second half and just being able to outscore opponents, I think it was 27-0 in the fourth quarter, which I look at that's great and everything like that, but I also look at how being able to only score 16 points in the first half for a lot of times, and the decisions that Desmond Ridder was making early on in that game, that kind of gave me some question marks, and I can ask Bo that later. But those were the issues I kind of looked at, even though they did come out with these types of victories.
Now, every 2-0 team last year made the playoffs. There were 6 of them, and they all made the playoffs. There's 9 this year. The problem this year is that of those 9 2-0s, 3 of them are in the NFC South, which is supposed to be the division you can win with 9 wins.
Yeah.
And who knows right now? The Saints are at 2-0, and so are the Bucks. It'll be fascinating to see the Bucks against the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football. You might be able to listen to that game right here on.
I believe you will be able to listen to it right here.
You'll be able to.
Yes.
So Baker Mayfield, and that's the early one. But definitely that game kicks at 6:15 Central Time, and so Baker Mayfield going up against Jalen Hurts in that one. So a couple of Oklahoma quarterbacks, right? I mean, is that what we say there? That's a couple of Oklahoma quarterbacks.
Oh wow, are we really opening up this beanie weenie can right now? We've got
Oklahoma quarterback.
Don't let Bambino call in. He's going to come in.
Giants
you guys.
By the way, Giants at 49ers tonight is over the airwaves right here as well. So we've got.
I'll be listening on my way back from Birmingham as well. So I'm excited that we got that to listen to as well. That ought to be
right after Hey Coach
the Giants
and the Nick Saban show.
And Brian Daboll and those Giants. We'll see. I mean, they
Christian McCaffrey.
I mean. Quarters. Christian McCaffrey
he's finally healthy.
How about Brock Purdy, though? I mean, come on.
Mr.
Brock
Irrelevant.
Purdy, we're sitting here, we look at Justin Fields. Yeah, we look at Justin Fields, who can't throw it in the ocean. I mean, he's sitting there saying that, coaching. Coaching, there's a guy wide open right in front of you. How about you dump that off to that guy? I mean, I posted a video. If you check out my X feed, you'll see a video that I reposted from Mike North in Chicago, where it's a high shot from behind the offense. And Justin Fields goes back to pass. He's in a perfect pocket. He has a guy wide open in the end zone, and he pulls the ball down and runs. Oh, that's coaching, huh? That's what that is?
He's a robot. He's a robot.
He's a robot. Yeah, you're a robot.
He's got to be able to play free now, Tom. He's got to be able to play free. That's what he needs. It's like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray played free, and look what that did to you.
Yeah, look how that worked out. But Brock Purdy, I mean, look at this dude. I mean, the way he's playing is just amazing, and he's only had 7 or 8 starts. But he looks really good. The Falcons or the 49ers look really good. It's so early, and it's such a long season in the NFL.
So Tom, I did want to ask you. I don't know if it was part of Beat the Big Dog yesterday. I really had a solid feeling that Tennessee was going to handle Florida last week, and I couldn't have been more wrong. I have that same feeling about LSU over Arkansas this week. How about you?
We have it in Beat the Big Dog. I took Arkansas with the points. I think that LSU wins the game by a couple of touchdowns. I'm fearful of backdoor cover.
Oh,
I can see a scenario where where it's a 20-point game in the fourth quarter, and Arkansas chips one in, and the next thing you know, hey, look at LSU winning by 16 or 15 points. Oh, by the way, they didn't cover the 17.5. By the way, I was on Florida last week, so I did like Florida in that one last week. I didn't call it straight out. Now, our guy on Friday, Lee Sterling, is our Friday handicapper. Lee Sterling dropped the wrong team is favored in that game last week on the air and called for Florida with the outright win. So we'll have to see what Lee says about Arkansas and LSU. Here's a question that I have. Tomorrow, I keep thinking tomorrow's Saturday. Saturday, Colorado and Oregon are going up against pretty much the same time slot as Alabama Ole Miss.
Really?
Now, Alabama Ole Miss is fascinating, right? So you look at it, and it's on CBS.
Oh.
It will be the B team. It's Tom McCarthy, and then I forget who it is that does the game.
Ross
anyway,
Tucker. Ross Tucker's on that.
Ross Tucker.
Yeah.
Right. So they're doing it. It's the B team doing the game, but it's CBS. It's Lane Kiffin. It's Nick Saban. It's Alabama. And right now, Alabama haters are watching as well as Alabama fans because it's like watching a train derail. They're like, oh my gosh, look at this Alabama team falling apart. So they want to watch it. So I'm expecting a big number there. But Colorado had 10 million people watch them play Colorado State
at midnight
last week. It was the fifth.
Yeah.
And at midnight, it was the fifth highest ranked ESPN game in the history, regular season game in the history of ESPN TV. And I wonder if Colorado, Oregon will get a bigger audience than Alabama, Ole Miss at the same time. I think that's going to be fascinating nationally. Obviously, in these parts, nobody cares. But I wonder nationally whether or not more eyeballs will be in that Colorado-Oregon game.
That's fascinating to look at. I agree from a national perspective, but I know where more eyeballs are going to be here in this state. But if somehow Colorado can make it close, because the point spread I know is just as large as TCU, Oregon is so much better than TCU. And the fact that Hunter is not playing as well for Colorado, he would have been the best player on the field, regardless of who's on what side. So if they can make it respectable, that would go into that storyline of the eyeballs.
It's a big game for Bo Nix, too, because Bo Nix went from being a castaway, Auburn, a legacy kid there out of Scottsboro and Vincent Valley, and then he goes to Oregon, and now Bo Nix has worked himself back into not only the Heisman conversation, but which I don't see that happening, but he's getting a lot of love as a potential first-round draft pick in the NFL. Who would have thought 2 years ago that Bo Nix would be back to being a first-round pick in the NFL? So there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on that game, and a big game by Bo Nix is going to thrust him even further in the national than the next big.
I did read up a little bit on the game notes. On that. And did you know that Saturday's start for Bo Nix will be his 50th collegiate start? Do you remember way back when on the quarterback debate from Gus Malzahn down at Auburn? Who was the quarterback that was supposed to start over Bo? I don't even remember now. I don't remember, but ironically, his first game, he threw that game-winning pass. Yes, against Oregon.
Beat Oregon, and everybody said, "Oh my gosh, here we go!" Auburn's got their quarterback, but the last quarterback that Gus really develops to be the next one. To be honest with you,
you telling me Barrett Trotter did not pan out to be the quarterback? All the quarterbacks that went through the Gus system.
The best quarterback he ever had was a defensive back from Georgia.
That's right. Nick Marshall. Yes. And by the way, he ran the RPO better than I've ever seen anybody run the RPO.
Well, that was when they were cheating, too, before the rule about giving guys downfield. I mean, you could not defend it when you had three offensive linemen 8 yards downfield.
By the way,
it was like, okay, come on.
You were thinking of Joey Gatewood, I think.
Was that the
Joey Gatewood?
Was it Joey Gatewood?
Yeah, because then he ended up transferring.
Was it Gatewood?
They all transferred.
Yeah, of course they. Well, yeah.
Because I think Stidham was the year before, so.
That's right. Yeah, Jarrett Stidham.
Wasn't Stidham supposed to win two Heisman trophies and two national championships?
SEC first teamer, QB.
Is he still with the Raiders? Is he still with the Raiders?
He is. He's backing up. Well, is it the Raiders? He's backing up somewhere. He's in the league. I think he's with the Raiders, I think he's backing up Jimmy G.
Man, hey, he's going to turn into Don Strock before we know it.
He's with the Broncos.
Yeah, backing up Jimmy G is like a certain opportunity to play. Because,
he spent last season with the Raiders. He's with the Broncos now. Okay. He's backing up Wilson.
He's with the Broncos.
So even worse. But he may get some Peyton love, so who knows?
Yeah. All right, boys.
We have not considered that.
No. No, did Tommy Reese enter the transfer portal with
oh, wow.
Or not? The coaches going to transfer portal?
To make room for who to be the next OC? I'm sure there's a analyst down at that staff that can take that over, right?
Somebody that can handle it, yeah, I would think.
Surely to goodness, we're going to see more running out of Jalen Milroe on Saturday.
I saw a list of the analysts. There were a couple of guys that are analysts on that staff. I didn't realize. I walked into Keith Neighbors' office,
yeah,
and he says, "This guy is on the staff." I guess Derek Dooley is the
Derek Dooley's down there,
offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He's the offensive coordinator in waiting. Will be Derek Dooley.
Ooh.
I mean, so
isn't Wisenhunt down there too? I mean, there's
Wisenhunt is there, who's Derek Dooley's father-in-law. I think is Ken Wisenhunt. Really? I think, yeah, because that was. When I was in Nashville, Wiz was the head coach of the Titans, and Dooley was in Tennessee. And somehow I think Dooley married Wisenhunt's daughter or something. I thought,
wow.
Tennessee. He could have married his own cousin for all I know. I don't know. But,
yeah. Well, come on now. He grew up in Athens, Georgia, so,
I would have to believe that, yes. I mean, it would be asinine for them not to have some scheduled runs in there this time for Jalen Milroe. They're going to have to just say, okay, look, let's just do what the guy does, put him on the perimeter, run a little RPO with him, or maybe not even the P part of the RPO, just a little RO with him, a little speed option with him, little, called draws. Here's the thing. I'm less, we're breaking down the game now, but I am less worried about Jalen Milroe than I am about Jackson Dart's running. That 136 yards last week against Georgia Tech, and I know it's Georgia Tech and it's not Alabama, but Alabama has had issues in the past with guys like that. That's the wild card in this game. If Jackson Dart gets loose on a couple of big runs that set up scores or scores on a big, that could be a problem because Alabama can't get in I don't believe that Alabama can get in a shootout, not the way they play offense, not averaging 100 yards a game passing. So I'm terrified about Jackson Dart getting loose. That's the bigger thing. I think Milroe's going to be fine. I worry about them defending Dart.
Well, this is indeed the Thom Abraham show because we're late for a break. So
that's right, baby. That's the way we roll. Even when I call
we extend it. We extend it.
Yeah. There you go.
You want to toss it to break, dog, or what do you want to do?
Thanks, Thom.
This. Oh my gosh! I'm running right into a massive traffic jam.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
65 North, massive traffic jam. This segment of the Thom Abraham Show was brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Tom Lahaki, Attorneys, Valley Equipment Rental.
Yeah. Come on. Keep
who am
going.
I missing? DOC.
North Alabama
and
Mortgage.
North Alabama Mortgage and
Alumni
Hall, where you can look the part. Go to Alumni Hall. There you go.
We have not considered that.
Well, you should consider that, Coach. You should consider going to Alumni.
65 North. Massive traffic jam on 65 North of Decatur.
What mile marker?
Just before the bridge, just before going over the river.
Okay. All right.
Whatever that is.
So around 334, somewhere in that neighborhood?
Yeah, right before you go over the bridge. This is bad, guys. I mean, really bad. All right. I'll be late for my meeting.
See you, Tom. He's going to be late for his meeting. I hope not.
Of course he is.
No, they'll have a police escort. They'll show up.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be like Chipper Jones, in the ice storm. And someone will show up. Or, Freddie Freeman. Somebody will show up to go save him. It'll be fine. Because they'll know that Thom Abraham's there. But anyway, let's go to a break. That was the big dog. Of course, he's out of town. Getting ready, kind of letting us take over the day. But
our next segment will be brought to you by Baumhauer's Victory Grill.
Is it brought by Baumhauer's?
I don't know. We'll be there later on today.
Yeah, the draft. I said that earlier.
And you can register to win the Redemption Tour tickets today for the drive. It'll be myself and Jordy Arman from 5 to 6:30.
Very cool. Well, on the other side, we're going to talk to Bo Morgan from 92.9 The Game. Talk some Atlanta Falcons right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
I can't wake up.
Get ready to rock at Toyota Field.
Baby, sounds like something I do.
6 premium concerts are coming to Toyota Field this October.
So
Tickets start at just $20. Check out the lineup now at ToyotaFieldConcerts.com.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is responsible for bringing high-level sports entertainment to the Rocket City. In 2023, enjoy events like the CCSA Beach Volleyball Championships, Hometown Lenders Championship, UCI Paracycling Road World Cup, and so much more. To learn more about upcoming events and the Huntsville Sports Commission, visit HuntsvilleSports.com. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GeneracSuperstore.com.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State Hometown Team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We drop into the low and mid 60s through the overnight early into your Friday morning. Partly sunny sky through Friday afternoon really is going to be a fantastic afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. For Friday night football, we're looking at temperatures hanging out in the 70s. Dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. A fantastic front half of the weekend. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Listen each Friday to the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show, powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back to the Thom Abraham Show. No, this is not the big dog. This is Chad Gwathney. Sitting across from me, Steve Moulton, helping me out for today. Going to break down a little bit of the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta Braves with Bo Morgan from 92.9 The Game. Atlanta Falcons Radio Network. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You couldn't hear me.
Oh, oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't know you were saying anything.
Well,
I had to look up.
It's
and,
hard to
say
multitask.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to do all those different things at the same time and
I'm
try to
give you
update
some
the
live
masses.
reps.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to update the masses too that we've got Bo Morgan on. We want to talk this 2-0 hot start, but we also want to talk a little bit about the Atlanta Braves as well. And what better way to have Bo Morgan on? Thank you so much for joining us as always, man. How you doing today?
I'm good. Look who's in the big seat today. Wow.
Hey man, the big seat is always fun when you're doing like 7 other jobs behind the scenes as well. So I mean, I understand that's the norm for Bo Morgan.
Bo, I'm enjoying lunch over here, and so I'm pulling my weight as well.
Well, you guys interrupted Sopranos reruns for me.
Oh, where are you? So where are you?
Little Jackie Aprile just got whacked.
Okay.
So I just went to the funeral. That's the end of season 3.
Okay.
As Chad knows, I have to take little naps in the afternoon because of the early rising I have to do. So I watch shows that I've already watched. I'll put it on. I can relax, fall asleep to. And then I'm such a degenerate, I end up rewatching the show at some point and stop taking naps to it and then have to transfer to something else. So that's where I am in life at 40 years old. So
I rewatched The Sopranos during the pandemic, forgot how good that show was because I binged watched it from start to finish. And yeah, there's a few things that look dated like it was the turn of the century, but the storylines, everything like that is such a good show.
Yeah, it still plays for the most part. You're absolutely. I mean, your assessment's absolutely right. It's kind of like you go back and watch. It's a timepiece. You go back and watch, the Goodfellas, and it's still a classic. You can watch it today, but that's kind of the way The Sopranos is. So it's kind of like you're watching a Game of Thrones, but with the mafia.
Well, let's go through that time slot a little bit here because as a Braves fan, a lifelong Braves fan, it is really weird for me to take a look at a game right now and see, I don't know, a Phillies team that's up 4-0 and think, we're okay. Well, we're going to move this into extra innings. I'm so used to my brain has been just wired in such a way that a certain number. This offense is just foreign to me, though, Bo. This is my whole point.
Well, I think it's foreign to most fans that follow a Major League Baseball team closely. There's not very many offenses that have ever been built like this, and you can go to some of these teams that are very high priced. The Dodgers fans have probably felt this at times during their recent run, but this is nothing like. The only thing close to this, I think, would have been one of those late Braves era teams there at the end of the run. More like 90, the 98, something like 99, 2000, 2001 time frame, maybe 03.
Yeah.
Those are the only teams that could have compared to this. And it's really crazy because if you look through the lineup 1 through 9, there's not a lot of guys on this in this lineup that aren't having career years. I mean, Marcell Ozuna is really close to most home runs in his career, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, Acuna is setting records for himself. Matt Olson. I mean, you have two legitimate MVP candidates, and to be really honest with you, in any other year, either one of these guys puts up these numbers, they're a runaway. And if Matt Olson puts up the numbers he is in like, maybe next year or last season or even in 21, he's a runaway MVP candidate. So it's really crazy. All the guys that have hit 35 homers. Austin Riley is probably the one guy who for a while wasn't having a career year, and now he's gone wild. So it's just, there is no, unless you have a day where you're going to throw in Nicky Lopez instead of Arcia, you really don't have a weak spot, and Arcia is the weak spot compared to everyone else, and he's having a career year.
He's an all-star as well. So, I mean, it really is amazing what Alex Anthopoulos has been able to accomplish here of losing a guy like a Freddie Freeman, then you lose a guy like a Dansby Swanson. But really here lately, since the Braves have clinched their 6th consecutive divisional title, there's been some slide, and is there some uneasiness for the fan base there in Atlanta?
Oh, well, there's this fan base. It's been uneasy since late June, mid-July for some reason. Once they went through June, as hot as they were, immediately the fan base decided there were problems with the pitching staff, and our bullpen's not good enough. Our starters aren't good enough. And so, look, I get a lot of it. As a guy who grew up with the team of the 90s, I mean, they ushered in my baseball fandom in the late 80s with the Del Murphy era with my grandparents, both my grandfathers that used to watch with. And now, we go through what was the greatness of the 90s, but it only had one title, and we've already got that title. And arguably one of the worst regular season Braves teams ever make the postseason as far as wins and by how that was judged. And they just go and roll out. I keep telling people, none of this matters. Be hot. Be hot in October. That's all that matters. That's the one thing that Braves team had. Because, by the way, I don't know who these great pitchers were that the fan base thinks they had. The night shift wasn't what we knew it in the postseason in the regular season. Because Will Smith was a walking heart attack for most of the fans every time until he got to the postseason.
Yeah, that's right. And Tyler Matzek as well, boy. He really came to life.
Who were our starters that year? I mean, we had Max Fried and Charlie Morton. And that was Kyle Wright wasn't Kyle Wright then. He only got to pitch in that postseason because Dylan Lee had to make a spot start in Game 4 of the World Series. And then Kyle Wright became this guy. So I just try to tell people, look, this lineup is so deep that I think you give people trouble. Well, it's different in the postseason. Pitching is different. Well, then show me, because we saw our pitching in the 90s not be up to par when it came down to it in some of those World Series appearances. We could get there, but we couldn't win. Every time, though, this team does what they're doing now, which is have a lull, they respond with, they were at one point at the end of May, they were 10-13 in that month.
That's right.
And then right around the end of the month, June hits, they go, 21-4 or something?
Yeah.
So that's what this team does. They did the same thing in August. I don't want to say bad, but an average July, and then they go off in August. And then, boom, here we are, clinched early, and we got time to work through this. So, yeah, there's some panic, but they've been panicking since the end of June when they realized what everybody else, I think some of us had already realized this team is special, especially from the offensive standpoint.
Bo, I wanted to ask you, because I was listening to the show this morning, you were talking about the big bad Phillies, and everybody in the fan base kind of worried about them again, obviously coming off of what happened last year. But I look at this, obviously, this bullpen and what A.J. Minter kind of just fell on his face last night. You had a bad outing by Bryce Young, by Bryce Elder. I mean, he might not even be played this weekend. By Bryce Elder. And you have a guy like Spencer Strider and Max Fried that is leading this rotation. You've got Uncle Chuck as well, a savvy veteran in there as well. Are you kind of worried a little bit about the back end? But you do have Jesse Chavez obviously back. You have Colin McHugh making a return possibly. You've got Anderson possibly coming back as well. Nick Anderson possibly coming back as well. Do you kind of are you worried a little bit about the bullpen? But are you kind of feeling pretty confident?
Well, honestly, to be really honest with you, I can't stand when people do this, but I'm going to do it anyways because I don't know. It just makes sense. But this reminds me a lot of 21. Iglesias has been a really good closer at times, like Will Smith had, and he's had really good stretches. But he always seems to get a guy or two on base before he'll get the first out, and then there's a bloop single, and then boom, there's a hard double off the wall, and now you got second and third with one out, and then he pops the guy up and strikes the guy out, or vice versa. It just seems to be his MO, which was so Will Smith. And then you've got Jimenez, who was unreal for a stretch there. You've got AJ Minter has been really good for most of this season, and he was phenomenal last year. And he worked through some injuries early in the season, came back and really got on it. And look, yesterday, the stupid Manfred rule, this drives me nuts. You have, and you guys know this, you have to pitch differently when you start an inning with no one out.
Correct.
And a guy on second, because you have to be a little more nitpickier. And I think with a guy like Minter, who's a hard-throwing lefty who really wants to come at you and then throw something away when he can, he's got to be a little bit sharper. And that's part of it. That was one of the things that was about Bryce Elder, and I know you asked about back end, but that was one about Bryce Elder yesterday. He's a location guy completely. That's his whole thing. Not going to blow you away with his power or his stuff, but he's going to pitch to contact and make it where you can't not swing, but if you swing, you're not going to get much. And he was missing yesterday. I thought Minter got squeezed slightly at the beginning of that inning by the ump, but that's going to happen. You can't use that as an excuse because no strike zone is built the same based on the guy that's behind the plate. Luckily, we won't see some of those guys like the Angel Hernandezes of the world whose strike zone changes by the pitch. But the good thing is they're deeper than people realize. With Jesse coming back, and by the way, I thought he looked pretty good yesterday. Yeah. McHugh clearly is going through some stuff physically, and so he needed that little break. So I also want to throw this out there, which everyone will tell you how different the postseason is, but they always leave out one big factor, and that is when you get in the postseason, you will have a day off. You're not going to be used as much. Hey, there might be a moment in the 7-game series where Max Fried started game 1, and his bullpen session is going to be, maybe game 3 or 4, depending on how many days are off, and he might go out in there and throw you an inning. So I just think everything is different. There's also the fact that you're not worried about saving guys. When October hits, there is no more saving guys.
That's right.
If you can go, Raisel Iglesias, you're going. AJ Minter, you're going. How many times in that postseason did we see Snicker use the likes of Luke Jackson, Tyler Matzik, AJ Minter, and Will Smith? It was. I remember. I think it was after Game 2, guys. Game 3. The first game at home was a Friday night, and the Braves. I cannot remember who started the game, but I do remember the fact that it was Ian Anderson who started, and he only threw like 5 innings.
Wow.
And they rolled out Luke, Matzik, Minter, Will Smith, and I remember Alex Rodriguez saying, well, the Braves made a choice tonight to win Game 3, and it's going to probably cost them the series because you can't pitch these guys every night. And he went on, blah, 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 and Alex Rodriguez is getting self-righteous with how smart he thinks he is. He's a guy's a phenomenal player, Hall of Famer, one of the best ever. But he doesn't know about how to manage a pitching staff, clearly, or that pitching staff. So when you have days off, you can rest these guys. They're sharper. It's a little bit cooler outside. So that helps with these guys' fatigue. When they warm up, they come in, they can throw a little bit longer. I just think it's so different. But the time off really helps some of these guys. I think that they're in really good shape with guys like Jimenez and Iglesias and Minter. I think Chavez coming back because he's as good as we've ever seen him in his on again, off again, on again, off again roster appearances with our Braves. So I'm not as worried. I just think the one thing that worries me the most is whoever that hot team is. And right now, the last I checked, I feel like the Diamondbacks might be one of the hotter teams. And I bring them up because they've got a young core. They've got some good pitching. I mean, they've got the guy who probably should be the Cy Young some ways. I mean, look, I want Spencer Strider.
Yeah.
I think there's a really good chance that it's Justin Steele from Chicago. But Zach Gallen has been really good as well. And along with Blake Snell, there's so much good pitching. But look, the hottest team is going to be the one that gives you the most trouble, and that's what Philadelphia was last year. I don't think they were better. I don't think their roster was better than the Braves last year. I just think they got really hot.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is all about how you're playing at a certain time of year. And with that being said, let's flip over to the Falcons, shall we? And what a start for the Atlanta Falcons, going 2-0 and come from behind victory over the Green Bay Packers. And how does this team feel out of the gate to you, Bo?
It feels different, and I know that's the easiest thing to say. But this is a team that we saw play a lot of close games the last 2 seasons. Somehow Arthur Smith managed to get them into close games. And everyone wants to talk about what Desmond Ridder might or might not be. And I know Chad wants to get in that badly. But I'm going to tell you something. MVP. This team is built so much differently than the last 10 years, 15 years we've seen it. Because I remember the day, and I've been working for the network since 2010. I've been in the booth since 12, traveling with these guys. And I'm going to tell you something. Every year we would play the rookie quarterback or the second-year young guy who, the Falcons have a good matchup today, and he would light us up for, 350. Hell, I remember 2013, Geno Smith comes in with the Jets, and this wasn't the Seattle Geno Smith.
I was there.
And he ripped us up. It was, dude, so you guys know, you were there. It was bad.
So both of those two of those games I went to the Jets, and then the following year I went to the Colts, and I watched Geno Smith come back with less than a minute in the game, come back and win with a game-winning field goal. And then I had watched Matt Hasselbeck do the exact same thing where I was watching that game, Bo, and I was like, oh, here we go again. The Falcons are going to score with a minute left. They're up by, 1 point, and the other team's going to march down the field because the defense is going to play lazy, and they're going to kick a field goal and win the game. That's what I felt like at the close end of that game. But when Arthur Smith kept doing all that crazy stuff and the kahunas he had to be able to go for it on fourth down and be able, man, you could hear it in the crowd. The fan base was so against that call. They were so against everything that was going on. But once it happened, it was like he was absolutely the best coach in the world.
Let me tell you something. He talked about that call yesterday. He joins one of our shows once a week, and he talked about that. He called he threw the challenge for the spot on that fourth down because he wanted to get another look at the spot and make sure that they spotted it well. B, he wanted to get some time, and he told Desmond. He said, "Hey, get to this line quick, snap this ball quick," because what they did is they pulled the tackle over. They ran unbalanced with Jake Matthews and rolled him on the right side through Michael Pruitt over there on the left side, and they had already ran this play earlier. And so he didn't want them to recognize it or have a chance to I don't think they would have called timeout there, but just in case they did, he didn't want to do that because if you remember, it was before the 2-minute warning.
That's right.
And so you're trying. And his thought was, look, if it was one of those deals where I thought we could get it, and I wanted to go ahead and burn more clock. It changes the game. It changes the game completely. But he told Desmond to run there quick, and apparently the umpire runs in. He's like, I'm losing my mind. The umpire runs in, resets the ball, stops it. He goes Savage, and he's talking about Green Bay's Darnell Savage and their secondary. He goes, Savage recognized it. And so, Darnell Savage from his free safety spot recognized it, and he starts moving in. And so Arthur said that he was like, dude, I was losing my mind. I thought it felt like 20, 30 seconds had gone by, and it was probably a second. But for whatever reason, Jake got out there, and Janu was able to get enough. I believe it was Savage who had already crashed in, and Bijan made a move, and boom, he cuts up. But just hearing Arthur talk about that, his reasoning why, and how the detail he had given Desmond to execute that play, we have got to stop second-guessing this guy because, and I say we as a fan base, and again, you guys know I've grown up in Atlanta. Their teams are my teams. And it's just that we question because we've been conditioned. And it was what I was saying with the passing game. We've been conditioned.
Yeah.
You thought that Jordan Love was going to come in here and light us up, didn't you?
Yeah, I sure did. Guilty. Guilty. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, the week before, everyone told us Bryce Young was going to do that because that's what we've been conditioned to do. But this pass defense right now, we need to work on the rush defense. That interior run, they did a good job against Green Bay. I think they held them to 84 yards on the ground. Man. Now, the week before, though, Carolina gashed us a little bit. For whatever reason, they've got our number, that interior rushing game. But I want to tell you something. 133 and a half yards a game, and in 2 games, that's what this team is allowing. They haven't given up over 300 yards through the air yet. Now, I know that's only 2 games, but we're literally in an era where everyone throws for 300 yards, always, or until recently, it would seem. But this team has been really good in the pass defense, and they were able to get. I went back and watched the All-22. That last drive that Green Bay had, they had 4 downs. You guys know they go 4 and out. Second down, if you go back and watch the All-22, it looked like Falcons had a miscommunication in their secondary between D. Alford and Richie Grant because the receiver goes in motion, and that's supposed to be D's guy, and he didn't go with him. And Richie Grant's like, get over here. He gets over late, but what the Falcons had done is they had started generating a little bit of pressure. They were running these little stunts with Arnold Ebiketie. They were able to speed up Jordan Love just enough up front. I know the sacks aren't there, but they were able to speed him up enough to where he doesn't even get to that side of the field yet, and he overthrows the receiver on an out route on the other side of the field. So it's weird, but this defense is a lot better than I think we understand at this moment, and I feel like it's getting better. Quietly, it's one of the surprise defenses in the NFL right now.
So, complete sidebar here as we're winding down with you. I got a text message. When was this? This was at 12:31 last night from Jerry Glanville, who joins us on the afternoon show quite a bit. I did want to let you know that the 3 legends this weekend will be Andre Rison, Brian Jordan, and Jerry Glanville. Those are your 3 legends this weekend for the Falcons at Detroit. Then he says to me at 12:31, would you like to come along? And I said, hell yes. So, I mean, if Jerry Glanville is going to offer me a trip to Detroit, I mean, you better believe I'm going to be up there in the Motor City.
Let me tell you something. You better be wearing all black because that coach is going to be dressed in all black.
I need to ask him for a belt buckle, Bo.
Well, hey, you guys, the area you guys are in, you can go to a pawn shop. You'll probably find out the belt buckle pretty quickly there.
There's a couple Western wears around here.
Where I live. But let me look, Glanville. You want to light up an old school Falcons fan's face? Just bring up those back in black teams, Glanville and Rison. I mean, BJ was on those teams.
Yeah,
I've got to know Brian Jordan a little bit here in Atlanta. Still a very popular guy here. Obviously, his time with the Falcons, but he's done played with the Braves as well and did Braves coverage until recently.
That's right.
With Bally. So those are 3 guys that are. I've gotten to be around or meet all of those guys at one point in time, and.
So he periodically texts me, Bo, and he will once in a while give me a pep talk, and he'll say, what's really important now? This is from Thursday, August 24th. What's really important right now? Attitude, run, chase, hit, gang tackle. How does the wolf bring down the bear? The pack. And that's from Jerry Glanville.
Let me tell you something. You're the luckiest person on this phone call because we could all use some words of wisdom here and there from a guy like Jerry Glanville.
Absolutely.
I don't know what I've done wrong in life, but I am not getting those. So I'm going to have to get them forwarded to me or something. Cause
I'll be
I can
happy.
use those every once in a while.
I'll be happy.
Monday motivation for sure.
Glanville motivation. Well, we appreciate the conversation as always, and hopefully I might see you in Detroit, although, we'll see what happens there on the trip. But we'll be listening on the Atlanta Falcons radio network right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Anytime, guys. Really appreciate it. And, we'll see you in the Motor City.
If he comes through for me, we'll see.
Hey, he's a man of his word.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. We do need to take our final Thom Abraham break. After all, this is the top of the hour break? Wow, okay. So you're doing it this way. Is our next guest top of the hour? Okay. So we have open phone lines on the other side. Okay. So we have open phone lines on the other side. If you'd like to call in, you can do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977. I really wish I was making up Jerry Glanville texted me in the middle of the night.
These can't be made up.
Because
he was lost in the sauce when he gave you that motivation.
I mean, I don't know how many times my wife has looked at me and said, "Who's texting you now?" And inevitably, I'll say, Jerry Glanville. Oh, okay. That's always a great look from the wife, too. Middle of the night text. We'll be back.
The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone.
Hunting and tailgating season is on us, and at Woody Anderson Ford, we believe it's time you got serious about an F-150. We've got nearly 150 to choose from, and without a doubt, one of the best F-150 values on the road today is our STX package. You get 290 hard-working horses, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission that'll take you everywhere, from that tree stand to downtown Tuscaloosa. Body-colored bumpers, halogen headlamps, 20-inch machined aluminum wheels, and lots of tech too, like a rear-view camera with dynamic hitch assist, which you boaters and RVers will love. A 2023 Woody Anderson Ford F-150 STX packs a punch, but doesn't cost a bunch. You can drive one for $499 a month. $499. 36-month lease with $52.10 due at signing. No security deposit plus tax, tag, and title. Includes $399 dealer fee with your good credit. Offer ends September 30th. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
There's nothing like the freedom you feel when you're on the water in your own boat from Freedom Marine in Guntersville. New or used, Freedom Marine has just the boat to make your time on the water the best it can be. Pontoons, fishing, ski boats, you name it. And all season long, Freedom Marine is giving away 4 packs of Alabama football tickets. Just log on the Freedom Marine Facebook page and like, share, and comment to be eligible. New and used boats, outboard sales, financing, service, and parts. It's Freedom Marine. Highway 431 in Guntersville and online at freedommarincenter.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our sports med specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Injuries at work happen all the time in Alabama. So do motor vehicle and slip and fall accidents. If you're hurt at work or injured in an accident, I want you to call my good friends at Pond Lehocky Giordano. That's Pond Lehocky, Alabama's injury law firm. They got your back just like they've got mine. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. NFL Week 3 kicks off tonight with the 49ers hosting the Giants. New York down 4 starters. Among them, star running back Saquon Barkley and offensive lineman Andrew Thomas. Giants will use a trio of backs to try to replace Barkley. Veteran Matt Breida should get the majority of carries. Gary Brightwell and Eric Gray will also factor into the mix. For the Niners, receiver Brandon Ayuk and quarterback Ambry Thomas. Game time decisions. Caesars lists the Giants 10.5-point underdogs. Blue Jays slugger Vladdy Guerrero Jr., right knee discomfort, underwent an MRI. No word yet on the results. Guerrero, huge for Toronto's playoff push, currently holds the second AL wildcard, 1 game up on Texas and Seattle. Inter Miami, CF's Lionel Messi left the win over Toronto FC with muscle fatigue, won't play Sunday so that he can be ready for the U.S. Open Cup final next Wednesday.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We drop into the low and mid 60s through the overnight early into your Friday morning. Partly sunny sky through Friday afternoon. Really is going to be a fantastic afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. For Friday night football, we're looking at temperatures hanging out in the 70s. Dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. A fantastic front half of the weekend. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got it locked on your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Nick Saban Show. This is Eli Gold, and this is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This is Chad Gwathney taking over the Thom Abraham Show alongside with Steve Moulton from The Drive. Make sure tonight you tune in from 5 to 7. Well, I guess 5 to 6:30 because you got Hey Coach.
Yeah. Thanks, Hey Coach.
Yeah,
thanks
Hey
Eli.
Coach.
Thanks.
Enjoying our time over at Baumhauer's Victory Grill.
Yeah.
For sure.
Raging Cajun.
It's
Raging Cajun.
It's really the Pee Wee Show than it is the Hey Coach show.
Especially after that last Pee Wee phone call.
Yeah.
That I'm sure everyone's going to be tuned in tonight for what Nick has to say to Pee Wee.
Oh, for sure.
He'll probably give him a little bit more than Nick gave me yesterday in the SEC teleconference. I got 22 seconds out of Nick Saban yesterday.
What is this, Gus?
It was always a minute I called it my minute with Malzahn, and okay, so here is my 22 seconds of Nick Saban on Wednesday. I wanted to ask about what you said back at Media Days of that cake process. Where do you think we are right now in that cake process?
No, I think the cake's been in the oven, out of the oven, back in the oven, and I think it's ready to go.
Would you consider a 2-quarterback system heading into this weekend, Coach?
We have not considered that.
So there you go. That's my full conversation with Nick Saban yesterday. Although you can take, I think, a good bit out of that cake. He said it was ready. Now, probably a better follow-up, I said this last night on The Drive, is there frosting on the cake? Is there candles? Is it completely ready to serve? But I think we really won't know that answer until the Ole Miss game. But not really, that it is not being, like you heard him, the 2-quarterback system?
Yeah.
Nope. We ain't going there.
Yeah, and I think that's like you've had that issue. I mean isn't that where Maria Taylor basically became like a famous person?
She's on NBC now.
He yelled at her.
Yeah,
it's like I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to break it down. I'm not going to tell you who's going to be the starter next week.
Yeah,
and this is when we're talking about two of the biggest quarterbacks. In a long time for the Crimson Tide. And then these two guys aren't even close cut to the cloth of Tua or Jalen, or let alone a Mac Jones. The level of play, I would say, when with the tools that they have around them. So
I did want to play a little bit of Jimbo Fisher yesterday, simply because I don't know anything about the Auburn Tigers. Well, I mean, I know they play football. I know they have the equipment. I know they're undefeated. That's what I know about the Auburn Tigers. Well, Jimbo Fisher went on the teleconference. This is how he broke down the Auburn Tigers in his introductory into the teleconference yesterday.
Playing a very good Auburn team. Going to have a great week of practice. That they've done a tremendous job in the portal of getting a ton of guys. I mean, some guys recruit, other guys go to the portal, and they went to the portal and restocked their team. And as always, Auburn is very physical in the lines of scrimmage, very big up front. 50-99 are very physical. The ends are heavy. Backers, 9 and 30. And those guys can all run and play. Safeties, very efficient. Both corners, 4 and 1. I know it's supposed to be back this week, and they're very good, but 3 can play. I know the nickel got hurt 0, but 5 is back. He's a great player. Offensively, the offensive line is very physical. Tight end, new 13, is athletic, can make plays fair, and the other receivers are big. Hooks is a big, tall receiver. The backs, he really hurt us last year. He's physical. He's downhill. He's strong. Quarterback can really run and throw. Both of them. Both quarterbacks are athletic. I know we'll see both. 22, 23, and the other backs can also got explosive backs. Kickers are very good. Return guys are good. Hugh's a very good coach. We'll have to play a very good game. It would be a physical, typical SEC football game. We'll have to play very well.
So that's what Jimbo broke down the Auburn Tigers. How you feeling, Auburn fans? I mean, I'd like to hear from some Auburn fans. 256-576-4977. Our first phone caller, not sure he's an Auburn fan. I know he's a Mets fan. I'm sure we're going to break down the Metropolitans with the Phillip right now. How are you, Phillip? Did he hang up?
He hung up. You insulted the man. He wanted to talk about his Dallas Cowboys, and you absolutely insulted the man. He said no.
It's almost like I'm...
Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets.
I've got my big league shoe, and I want to talk some... some Mets.
I'm sorry. I mean...
By the way, this smell right here of Big League Chew,
it's awful.
It just takes me back to those baseball cards with the gum inside.
Yes, which have been around since the 1890s.
So I bought this today, and I'm not sure when this was made.
1892. Possibly 1965, I would think.
It's got to be a 2020. Uh-oh. It says
2020 on it?
It says 2020 on here. I may
not.
Well,
you may have bought it at one of the local gas stations down the street. You might want to check the food next time because I guarantee half of it is expired.
So those dates on your food are there for a reason. It's not just on milk bottles, okay?
That gum has it's been around. It's at least stuck around for this amount of time. It's fine.
My apologies to the Phillip. I hope you sincerely.
The stuff you get at Taco Bell is 10 times worse than what's in that gum. So
Ugh. Who do we have up next?
We have Brandon.
Let's
talk about Pee Wee. Brandon,
how are you, Brandon?
I'm trying to figure out who's Pee Wee is paying to get his calls stacked on that show, because there is no chance in hell that you get lucky enough to get through that many times the way they do.
Paul Feinbaum.
So Eli told us one time on the drive that he was told that Pee Wee calls in right as soon as the phone lines open up at 5 p.m. Central Time. So he's on hold from 5 p.m. until, when is that? It's like 7-something?
Whenever they start talking to him,
Yeah.
I've had Thom leave me on for like 30 minutes one time, and I went to sleep.
I'm sorry.
Can you imagine 2 hours on hold?
No.
Pee Wee has to plan his day around the Nick Saban show.
Well, it's like one day, though. It's only 15 days? Yeah.
If you're sitting at a desk working and you can just turn the speakerphone on,
fair,
and then just leave it unattended, that's not that bad. But I'd like to ask Nick, if I called him, I'd be like, Coach, so you're talking about this cake. Well, last week we got pineapple upside down cake. So what we gonna get this week?
It was not carrot cake. It was not carrot cake.
No, not at all. So I hear that guy doing that, and I'm like, who is he slipping money to his calls to the top of the list? He must have a friend that's a producer or know somebody, because
I don't play favorites.
Ain't normal.
Yeah, I don't play favorites on this show. Go ahead.
I think he may have found a bad sell, and
did he fall out?
Yeah, may have. I think
that's what happens when you put somebody on hold for 35 minutes,
Yeah, that doesn't happen to Pee Wee.
No, it doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen to Pee Wee.
No.
Just happens to Brandon from Rome.
Like I'm Paul. It doesn't happen to Jim from
So we've
Tuscaloosa,
just taken a phone
legend.
call from Virginia and from Rome, Georgia.
Nobody from Huntsville, Alabama in the Madison County area.
Well, what are we doing?
Can talk about some matchups that are going on tomorrow night. You know what I mean?
By the way,
locally.
you'll be able to hear the Huntsville Bob Jones game right here.
Home of the Crimson Panthers right here, 97.7, Zone 4.
Zone 5.
Zone 5, I'm sorry. Zone 5.
Zone 5. We can only stream the game. It's on Zone 5, and Tom Abraham will have the play-by-play call over on Zone 5 from Joe Davis. But Randolph, I'm trying to remember who they're playing right off the top of my head. I do know Madison Academy. I'll be on the call there as we travel over to Danville after our week off last week. No, that was last week. They were at North Jackson last week.
Sorry, I was looking at it zoomed in. It's Westminster.
Westminster. That's really good.
We just got done talking.
That's on Zone 3 there for Randolph against Westminster Christian. Zone 4 will be over the airwaves and on Zone 4. It is Sparkman taking on Grissom, and that will be over the airwaves tomorrow as the dueling Abrahams will have the play-by-play and the color commentary there on Zone 4. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. We're going to talk a little lines on the other side. It's the Thom Abraham Show on a Thursday right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
What's better than 2 end-zone sports bars? 3 end-zone sports bars. And we have you covered with our original location on University across from Red Lobster, in Jones Valley on Cecil Ashburn near Carl T. Jones, and our newest location in the Midtown District on McMurtry Drive opposite the Target Plaza. All locations feature the NFL Sunday Ticket, Tuesday half-price burgers, and Wednesday $1 jumbo wings all day long. You're never far from the end zone. End Zone Sports Bar.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing, let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
At Bryant Bank, we recognize your time is valuable, and easy, secure access to your finances is essential. That's why we provide the financial tools you need to manage your money on the go and make life a bit easier. At Bryant Bank, we're here to help with instant debit cards, Apple Pay, person-to-person payments, and more. Bryant bankers want to show you how beneficial our digital banking services can be. Learn more at bryantbank.com. Bryant Bank. Live legendary. Member FDIC.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
I can't wait. Get ready to rock at Toyota Field. Sounds like something I do. 6 premium concerts are coming to Toyota Field this October. Tickets start at just $20. Check out the lineup now at ToyotaFieldConcerts.com.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's Club Repair Shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslanding.com. That's gunnerslanding.com.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We drop into the low and mid 60s through the overnight early into your Friday morning. Partly sunny sky through Friday afternoon. Really is going to be a fantastic afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. For Friday night football, we're looking at temperatures hanging out in the 70s. Dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. A fantastic front half of the weekend. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Thom Abraham Show. Right now, we're efforting to get Steve Merrill. I'm like turning down my volume.
What about me?
I know, that's my volume. I was turning down my volume and paying attention. I was doing that earlier. We were recording.
Well, I thought we had talked about me bringing it back because you're doing too much over there.
No, it's okay. I wanted to do it more and just make it more confusing for everybody as they're listening to the Thom Abraham Show. And it's not the Thom. It is Steve and I.
So, by the way, Wes is not on tonight.
Yeah.
It'll be myself and Drudy Arman over at Baumhauer's Victory Grill.
Must be nice to be the boss.
Still get an opportunity to fill out. Yeah, I need to bring the box. I need to remember to bring the box. To Baumhauer's, so you can fill out and get an opportunity to win tickets to the Tennessee game or the LSU game. Now, if you enter now and you don't win the Tennessee tickets, your name is still going to be in there. You can sign up as many times as the box is out there at Baumhauer's, which is today, and I'll probably be out there in a couple hours. So give it about 3:30-ish. I'll be out there, and you can fill that out. I did want to go over some numbers since I thought we were going to go into kind of betting, and some lines are moving. I see lots of lines moving here from our friends over at VEASAN. The Syracuse Army line is 13 points. You'll be able to hear that game over on Zone 2 on Saturday. Also, it's down to 2 points now. Florida State is a 2-point favorite over Clemson. We'll see exactly what we see out of the Clemson Tigers at home. They have not looked all that great here to start this season. Over to SEC play. Kentucky is a 13.5-point favorite in the Ray Davis Bowl at Vanderbilt. If you know, you know. Auburn is a 8.5 road dog at Texas A&M. And since he's in the house here, I'll say Texas ATM. And further down,
Dirt net.
Alabama is a 6.5-point favorite over Ole Miss. Now, initially when that line came out, I was thinking it would be closer to a pick'em, but Vegas going with Bama, and the line has shrunk just a little from 7 to 6.5. Tennessee's a 21-point favorite over the Roadrunners of Texas San Antonio. I'll pause right there to let you listen to my conversation that I had with Vol head football coach Josh Heupel yesterday morning. You mentioned about the energy in the building. How about the practices themselves? Have you seen what you wanted to see out of your players this week so far?
Yeah, good competitiveness. It's been physical. There's been strain. So I like all of that. We got to continue to take ownership of the things that we can control, in particular on the offensive side of the ball. You look at, just the penalties from a week ago and even some of the previous week, the efficiency, how we've hurt ourselves. You can't do that in college football and put yourself in a position to play the way that you need to help your football team win a football game. So we've, continued to work on that. We've made and we always have, we pinpoint those things and point them out every day and place importance on them. At the end of the day, a week ago, I thought, we let one play affect the next a little bit. And, as a competitor, you can't do that. And that'll show up and be important in this football game, too.
What role or message would you like to send to the fans, too, on what role they can play to put some juice in the building on Saturday when the Roadrunners show up, Coach?
Well, listen, first of all, this is a really good football team. I said it earlier. They're proud, they're competitive, they're tough, they're physical, and they're coached well. They got really good players in all three phases of the football game. So it'll be important for us that we show up with the right mindset and competitive spirit, that we compete really hard. But as always, man, our stadium's as good as anywhere, if not the best in the country. And I know our fans are disappointed in last week's performance. But at the end of the day, man, we're going to need them on Saturday. So I expect Vol Navy to be packed, and I expect 35,000 at Ball Walk. And once that ball's kicked off, man, the energy inside the stadium is going to be important. We need to make it as tough a road environment as we possibly can. And our fans are consistent; they do that every week.
That is Josh Heupel from yesterday morning, and I don't know if you've seen the latest ESPN QBR, college QBR. I went through that a little bit last night, and Joe Milton III is not anywhere near the top 3 in terms of QBR. In SEC QBR rankings, He is 13th out of 14 quarterbacks. The only quarterback below him, it's mind-boggling to think about the amount of experience that the Mississippi State quarterback has, and he's last.
Yeah.
Will Rogers is last.
Yeah.
By the way, Milroe is 4th in QBR. 4th.
And I said this. I even said this on the radio. I think I said it either Monday or Tuesday. Will Rogers' verbiage when he goes to the line has changed since obviously Mike Leach passing away. But it's literally where it went from like Red 6 or Scarlet 7 or something like that. Very easy stuff. But it was also like if you go watching that LSU game, his offensive line it ain't helping him at all. And I feel like was it 2 years ago he finished second right behind Bryce Young in yardage. I mean, it was like touchdowns to interception ratio. I mean, it was just a stellar career. And I feel like once he gets away from Mississippi State, we'll really see how good he is because I don't really buy into that, him being behind Milton, just for right now. But I wonder if Joe Milton, it plays a bunch in this game, if Nico gets a chance in this game a little bit as well.
The offensive line's got some issues.
Talking about Alabama having issues.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, no one talks about, and tries to harp on the issues that Auburn has at quarterback too. So, I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of other issues at quarterback.
It feels like
in the SEC.
answer weekend is upon us in terms of we're finally going to get some real answers of who are these teams that we've been talking about. Mississippi State at South Carolina this weekend. I wish I knew. By the way, that line is growing. In fact, it just grew. South Carolina opened up as a 4.5-point favorite. It's now a 6.5-point favorite over Mississippi State. So that line continues to grow. So let's continue to talk some line, shall we?
So why don't we? And sorry, I was kind of waiting for him to kind of join. He likes to join us every week on Zoom. You can hear him right here on Thursdays. You can see him on Wager Talk TV. You can see him on the screen as well. And he's with ProSportsInfo.com. That is Steve Merrill. Steve, thanks for joining us, brother. How you doing today?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, doing just fine. We're just taking over the show as usual, man. It just seems like Thom literally will. It's anytime that I take over the show, it's always a Thursday, and anytime that I honestly can rely on you, man, I'll call Steve Merrill 9 times out of 10 because it's great to be able to pick his brain a little bit. He gives us you give us some of the great picks throughout the week, and I know you can talk more than just NFL, college football, all that stuff. So anything that's going on, I just greatly appreciate you having on.
Yeah, no, this is definitely football time, though. I mean, we got some baseball going as well, but football is front and center, to say the least.
So I really wanted to break down a lot of what we did yesterday on Beat the Big Dog and kind of pick your brain on some of these lines going into the weekend around college footballs to start it off, and then if we got some time, we'll finish it off with some NFL as well. But the one game in particular outside of what we're going to listen to and watch, but is Florida State as a 2.5-point favorite at Clemson. What are your power rankings saying, and what do you feel like on this game?
Yeah, it's interesting. The look-ahead line this summer had Clemson as high as a 3-point home favorite, bettable line, and obviously things have changed a bit, especially after week one. It would have been interesting if this game had been played a couple of weeks ago because Florida State probably been over a field goal favorite. I mean, they had an impressive Sunday night win against LSU by 21, and then Clemson had an equally unimpressive loss, 28-7, the next night on Monday. But since then, this Florida State defense has looked suspect, and Clemson's looked a lot better. In fact, last week, Florida State escapes with a 2-point win as a 25-point favorite at Boston College. They give up over 450 yards on defense. Keep in mind, even in that week one win against LSU, they gave up over 450 yards of defense in that game as well. And Clemson, a misleading 7-point output in week one because they had over about 200 passing and rushing, managed only 7 points. 3 turnovers had a lot to do with that. So these are two teams that have kind of started to trend in opposite directions since week one. The question becomes, does Clemson deserve to be a home dog? You got to go back several years to find them as a dog. In fact, the only regular season game since 2016 they've been an underdog was back in 2 years ago at Pitt. They failed to cover the middle of the season 2 years ago as a 3-point dog, but they haven't been a home dog in nearly a decade. And I think this is a bit of an overreaction. My database simulation, 10,000 games played through the database, has Clemson winning by nearly a field goal on average. Other projections, I do several of them have them winning the yardage battle and winning the game outright. So I do think Clemson qualifies as a live home dog here. They also qualify as the better defensive team as a home dog. And as I mentioned earlier, I do think that Clemson offense is better than they looked in week 1, and the Florida State D is a bit weaker than their 3-0 start. So I think the over 55 makes some sense as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see some points in this game.
So as we move along, I want to break down the Alabama and Ole Miss game and possibly the Auburn Texas A&M game later, just to kind of keep it in our listening ship. But as we move on to this Ohio State Notre Dame game, what are your power rankings and what do you say on this 3.5-point favorite OSU as they travel to Notre Dame and Sam Hartman?
Yeah, I mean, this is another situation where I think we have a live home dog, to say the least. And just like Clemson, it's another situation where we have a good defensive home dog. And in years past, it's been all offense, no defense for Ohio State. I will say that Ohio State's defense looks much improved this season, giving up just 3.6 yards per play, just 6.5 points a game. But what jumps out to me about Ohio State is the offense looks a lot weaker this year. You look back, they've only played one real opponent this year, and that was Indiana back in week 1 on the road. They're actually a 30-point favorite. They're only a 29-point favorite last week against Western Kentucky, so you can make an argument that was actually the best opponent they've played. But the first 2 games against Indiana, they scored 23 as a 30-point favorite. The next week against Youngstown at home, they scored 35 as a 45-point favorite. They've only scored the point spread in one of their 3 games this year. So I do think this Ohio State offense is a little weaker than in years past. A really good Notre Dame defense, 3.8 yards per play. And keep in mind, this is now the 5th game for Notre Dame because they had that extra game in Ireland. So to get a team this good defensively as a home dog almost halfway through the season always catches my eye. Once again, just like Clemson, I do several projections and database simulations. Many of them have Notre Dame winning the game outright and having the yardage edge as well. So I think this is another live home dog on Saturday.
All right, so I guess we move along to the gem of college football, or I guess the huge movement that we're seeing in college football. That is Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. It just seems like they're taking the world by storm. Do you see them here being a 21.5-point underdog at Oregon? Do you see them possibly, if not backdoor cover? Do they upset them here? What are you talking about right here on this game?
Yeah, I wasn't involved with either team last week. I did do some standalone videos at Wager Talk TV, wagertalk.com early in the week on the Oregon-Hawaii game. And I mentioned that, the only way I would play that would be Oregon in a rout, but I was concerned that they had a possible look ahead to this big game against Colorado. And I did think the Colorado State line was too high. My database said that line was about a field goal too high, but I didn't want to get involved because Colorado had plenty of motivation to try to run up the score against an in-state rival with all the smack talk. But it didn't happen, and they barely got out of there. Not only did they barely win, double overtime as a 3.5 touchdown favorite, not a good sign. And it's unfortunate that happened because I really do like Oregon in this game, had this game circled all season, is when Colorado's defense would be exposed. So I wish Colorado had won in a rout last week. We would have gotten better line value. In fact, the look ahead just a week ago was as low as 15. Some plots had 16, 17. Now it's 21. Another reason, of course, is because two-way star Travis Hunter got injured and he is out. Lacerated liver. He's not playing anytime soon. He's taken 88% of Colorado's snaps on offense and defense this year. So that's the equivalent of being without 2 players. And this is a very bad defensive team. Colorado is a good offensive team. You do worry about that dreaded backdoor cover potential, with a late garbage touchdown. But my database simulation has Oregon winning on average by 31 points. So even if they get that late touchdown, they're going to still probably lose by more than 21. Oregon's the only way I would play it.
So a game that you can hear on our air tomorrow on Saturday. You've got Ole Miss traveling to Tuscaloosa. It was a 7-point favorite. Now it's a 6.5-point favorite for the Crimson Tide. What are you saying on this game?
Don't know what to make of Alabama. The look-ahead line this summer was going to be as high as 15 on this game. Now it's 6.5. My database simulation has Alabama winning by 10 on average. So it's kind of right between what the initial line was and what the current line is. I will not be involved in this game. I have 5 strong best bets for my clients right now at wagertalk.com for Saturday. This is not one of them. But I do think there's some line value now with Alabama. Once again, I project a 10-point win. So if I was going to play this, 6.5 is an intriguing number because, once again, probably about a 4 to 5% chance Bama wins by exactly 7 at home. So I do like them at minus 6.5 or less, but quarterback situation is a concern. And we talk once again about how it's a red flag when a team does not even score the point spread. They didn't come close last week, as you guys know, to scoring the point spread. 34-point favorite. They win 17-3. Didn't even get halfway there, and that was late in the game. So definitely some concerns offensively And I'm going to probably take a wait-and-see approach with Alabama. I would lean towards them at -6.5 or less, but I definitely have some concerns with that offense.
Wanted to talk about the rival, the Auburn Tigers, as they travel to Texas A&M. Texas A&M is 7.5-point favorite. Auburn also having some issues, it seems like, at quarterback. Don't really know who's possibly the starter. If not, they're playing a two-type of quarterback system. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, the old adage is if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterback, right? So I think that's kind of what's going on. And it is always a concern when teams might have some offensive issues, especially, 3-4 weeks into the season. You see it often in week 1 or 2, and you can kind of see teams fix their problems because they don't have a preseason, games to work on it. Let's look at the database. First of all, my projection is a 10-point Texas A&M win. Current line around 7.5. Not a lot of value. 8.5, actually 9. Even now in a lot of spots, it opens 7.5. It's up to 8.5, 9. So line is pretty much spot on. Auburn did have the one road game at California. That was a non-covering win, 14-10. Defense has been good this year, 4.2 yards per play. So they do qualify as a defensive dog. I just don't want to get in front of Texas A&M. This is a team I've used twice this year. In their 2 wins, I've had best bets on them. I stayed off them in the Miami game, had no interest in that one. Didn't see them necessarily losing that outright on the road, but I thought it was a bad spot. But their 2 home games against New Mexico and Louisiana Monroe, they won 99-13. I've had actually best bets on both of them in those games, and that's part of the 12-3, 80% run on them at wagertalk.com. One of the reasons I like A&M this season is because they had an underachieving year last year and did not play up to potential. And those type of teams normally don't take their foot off the gas. The 2 games they've won and covered this year, they've been a 36 and 38-point favorite. But the game they lost outright, they were only a 2-point road favorite. This is obviously a more competitive game. We'll see if Auburn's defense can keep it close. Once again, I project a 10-point A&M win, so I think the line's pretty much where it should be.
Steve, I wanted to contribute at least something to the conversation here, but I wanted to ask about the SEC is kind of taking a little bit of a beating nationally in terms of winning outright in the non-conference games, and we've got a big game, at least in my opinion, between 2 undefeated teams, and it's in St. Louis with Memphis taking on Missouri, and that point spread right now that I see is -6 for Missouri. What do you see in this matchup, Steve?
Yeah, this one's pretty much held steady. Opened as high as 6.5, but it's 6 across the board now. It's pretty much not moved this week. We have seen some money on the under, though. Opened as high as 54. It's now down to 51. So there's been some sharp money on the under in this game. My database simulation, my projection is Missouri by 4. So I do think there's a little bit of line value here with the underdog in Memphis. And they've been good defensively this year. 13.5 points, just 4 yards per play. Missouri has also been good defensively, just 4.5 yards per play. And I think that's why we've seen some sharp money come on the under, and it's now down to 51 for that reason.
Talking with Steve Merrill, Wager Talk TV, ProSportsInfo.com. Steve, I want to change it over to some NFL, ask you a couple of games around our listening ship as well. Give me your power rankings and what you feel like as the Titans travel to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I had a strong best bet on Tennessee last week. I was part of a 3-0 sweep on Sunday afternoon for my clients at wagertalk.com. And one of the most public plays last week was actually on the Chargers. And I love to fade the public whenever possible. That video's up every weekend at WagerTalk TV, wagertalk.com. I'll be interested to see where the public comes in on this game now after Tennessee pulled the outright upset. I'm not sure much of an upset, though. It's just a 2.5-point dog. Tougher scheduling spot here. And by the way, another one we had last week, off to a 90% start on Sundays and Mondays in the NFL this year, was Monday night, had the Steelers as a home dog. That was just a vast overreaction to week 1. And we talk about this a lot every year. You have to be very careful overreacting to week 1 because it's basically, now it's week 4. It used to be week 5. Now it's week 4 of the preseason, in my opinion. And both, teams had opposite results. Tennessee loses and they win. Cleveland wins easily, and then they lose in week 2. So now we're going to kind of see the true selves show up here. One thing I will point out last week is that there were no turnovers in that Tennessee game. Meanwhile, the Browns had 4 turnovers and still only lost by 4 points on the road. That should probably be a pretty good sign for them going forward.
So let's talk about a team that you can listen to here, every Sunday or anytime that they're on the air for the Atlanta Falcons as they travel to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Atlanta's a team. A lot of people's had them as a play-on team this year. Season win total around 8.5. They're off to an impressive 2-0 start. I do think they're for real. But a bigger play-on team for most people this year were the Detroit Lions. Their season total was 9.5 wins. Obviously, the Kansas City underdog win pumped that a little higher, but then they give it right back, losing at home as a favorite against Seattle. And this is a Lions team that coming into the season was favored to win this division. So there's a lot of talk about Detroit being a play-on team this year. That always makes me a little nervous, though, when they become that public. These are two pretty good teams, though. I think offensively, they're a little bit better than they've shown. And this total is pretty modest at 46 right now for the over.
Well, Steve, thank you so much for joining us as always, man. I greatly appreciate it. Tell everybody where they can watch your coverage and get your work.
Yeah, the easiest spot to go to is wagertalk.com. 12-3, 80% football best bet run the last couple of weeks in both college and pro. I've got 5 college football best bets loaded right now for my clients. You can get them right now. And we have an all-sports special that works out to just $3 a day for all football, baseball, and basketball. So check that out, Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com. You can also find my NFL Fade the Public and my college football top 25 videos on YouTube on Wager Talk TV. So Wager Talk TV on YouTube and also wagertalk.com.
Thank you, Steve, so much. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. Well, thank you so much to Steve Merrill.
Interesting stuff there.
Yeah. No, seriously, I really appreciate when he gets on every time. I mean, he really does his research, and if you really go to Wager Talk, and you really go listen to what he brings and what he talks about and stuff like that, he can save you a lot of cash. I mean, he can make you a lot of cash too. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's very knowledgeable outside of just not only football. He's a great sense of baseball, NASCAR, any kind of not so much basketball, I would say. But definitely when it comes to the other sports that you can put a little money on, for sure.
So I believe on the other side we're going to re-rack a little bit of Tom's conversation with David Moulton, or what do we want to do here?
Well, really, we can't, because when we come back from break, we're only going to have a couple more minutes. So it looks like we're just going to finish out the show, to be honest with you.
Fine.
Because if you listen to this show, we would have had to have Steve Merrill on at the time that he was supposed to be on, which I think, honestly, that was miscommunication between Thom and Steve Merrill. So, but anyway, I think that, yeah.
Wow.
But because that's the thing.
You doing that?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We have not considered that.
Oh, without a doubt. Are you kidding me? Yeah, for sure. Because we're already going over time like the normal Thom Abraham show. Why don't we just keep it as normal? You know what I mean?
But I'm not eating my big league chip.
You should eat it more.
I'm not eating my big league chip.
You just have to keep putting more in, then it gets worse. All right, we'll see you on the other side. We'll finish up the show right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
Work injuries happen in Alabama all the time, whether it's an accident at work, getting injured, lifting heavy objects, hurting your hands on a machine, or just performing the same movement over and over until your body breaks down. But when it happens, there's only one law firm to call in Alabama. That's Pond, Lehocky, Giordano. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Installation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do after paint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We drop into the low and mid 60s through the overnight early into your Friday morning. Partly sunny sky through Friday afternoon. Really is going to be a fantastic afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. For Friday night football, we're looking at temperatures hanging out in the 70s. Dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. A fantastic front half of the weekend. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
New coordinators.
That's as good as money, sir.
New quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
Same coach.
All right, and you all may be taking the week off, all right, this week, but I'm not.
We are your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Oh, you want me to kick it into the driveway?
Yeah, because I actually had your volume up this time. Actually had the volume up ready to go this time.
And the anthem is
brought to you by TOC, North Alabama Mortgage, Woody Anderson, Alumni Hall, Valley Equipment Rental.
We appreciate all our fine sponsors here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Let me give you some quick hitters before we make our way out the door. Kirby Smart is coaching his 100th game at Georgia this weekend when they play host to UAB. He'll break Bear Bryant's mark for best winning percentage through 100 games if Georgia beats UAB. So something to keep in mind there. Also, another quick hitter for you. How about Duke? Duke is trying to go 4-0 for the first time since 2018. Duke is, of course, led by Riley Leonard, who has 18 career rushing touchdowns. That is third most in Duke history. Mike Dunn with 22 rushing touchdowns, and Brandon Kennedy with 31 rushing. Who could forget Brandon? I mean, I know that'll be some bar fodder for you out there as to who has the most rushing touchdowns at Duke. Also, what else? The SEC, boy, they could sure use that win for you should be a Missouri Tiger fan this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
As they're taking on undefeated Memphis. And I realize this is not ranked versus not ranked, but wins are wins. And right now the SEC is hurting a bit. Even the loss with Vanderbilt at UNLV, that hurts the conference. So that is important to keep in mind. So low QBR scores at Alabama. I don't know if you know this, but last weekend's win at South Florida, the QBR was 18.5. That was the QBR, was 18.5. That wasn't the lowest during the Saban era. It was actually against Tulane in 2008, a QBR of 10. By the way, the QBR in the national championship game of 2009, I forget who the quarterback was. What is he doing now? His QBR rating against Texas was 23.6.
That's insane.
So, also, keep in mind this is the last year of the West. If Bama were to beat Ole Miss, according to College Football FPI from ESPN, Bama's chances of winning the West, 58%. 58%. If they lose, 15%. If Ole Miss were to win, their percentage chance to win the West would be 42%. If they lose in Tuscaloosa, 5%. So you can argue this is a bigger game for Ole Miss than it is for Alabama. We shall see. I'll talk to you here in a couple hours with that guy who's sitting in the corner that you can't see on camera right now. He is Drudy Armand. Nah, it's all right.
See you guys.
That bald fella's next, and then I'll follow the bald guy, and I'm bald.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost